Christ.
And soaring, high above the holds of Erebonia's curse, we will join together as one. To become the radiant rays of hope, piercing through the oppressive darkness of despair. To that end, I hereby name us. Not the crimson wings of the Civil War, nor the winds of freedom on the Western Front, but our third and greatest title, the Radiant Wings.
Your Highness.
The Radiant Wings, huh? Not a bad name.
It has a lovely ring to it, doesn't it?
Ha! Didn't even take you 5 minutes to flip the whole damn script on us.
Ha ha! Finer words have never been spoken, O eternal rival of mine.
Whew, boy. The dead keep cropping up one by one. We really screwed the pooch here, huh?
Then why don't we go ahead and make things right?
This little charade ends here. Members of the Society, exterminate them all.
What?
Your Highness!
Seriously? Haven't you had enough yet?
Well, why not? I'm always up for a bit of slaughter and destruction.
And there's nothing quite like putting a damper on someone's parade. I suppose we couldn't expect it to hold forever.
Shit, don't tell me.
It's engaging spatial annihilation. The Type Beta is switching to high-speed mode as well.
Now you've done it!
Enough chit-chat. Time to say goodbye.
Damn. It would seem they aren't bluffing.
Stop this at once, Cedric. Why are you still doing this? Oliver just came back to us.
Don't you see, Elfin? That's exactly why I must do this!
I'm just as glad as you to see him alive again. But feelings such as that are only for the weak! We're ending this world and creating a new order in its place. And an undertaking this great leaves me no room for weakness. Chancellor Osborne entrusted me with a mission, and I swear, by my hand, I will carry it through!
I believe you've actually done quite enough for now, Your
Oh, come on.
Huh?
That voice.
My, speak of the devil.
Chancellor Osborne!
Father.
Rufus, too.
Instructor Claire. Even you?
I come to you today from the Imperial capital. You'll have to excuse me for not attending in person. As for my fellow world leaders, President Rocksmith, Prince Albert, Princess Claudia, my warmest greetings to you all.
You're the last person I expected to make an appearance here today.
Our greetings to you as well. A shame we couldn't meet under better circumstances.
I must apologize for not giving you prior notice of our visit.
Not at all, Your Highness. This airspace is a neutral zone. No permission is needed from the Erebonian government to enter it. Lieutenant General Cassius Bright. Just how long has it been?
Since your surprise visit to Liberl? About 3 years. Though it appears your people have been fervently active in our regional capitals in your stead.
You flatter me. Our work is nothing compared to that of your team from R&A Research.
Are they talking about the Erebonian Intelligence Division?
Yeah. Richard and the others have been struggling to counter their efforts.
I see the Special Support Section has chosen to attend as well. I do hope our dear Rufus isn't causing you too many difficulties.
Here and there, perhaps. Though I would very much like to establish a better working relationship with them, wherever we can.
What a barefaced liar.
It's a pleasure to meet you again, Your Excellency.
I can't help but be reminded of our conversation at Orcus Tower 2 years back.
Ah, yes. When we spoke of the resolve needed in trying times. How very nostalgic. And last, but certainly not least, Prince Olivert, my deepest apologies. I scarcely realized just how gravely I'd underestimated you. I imagine even the Duchess and her cohorts must share in my sentiment.
Indeed. It would seem I'm not as keen as I thought myself to be.
That's quite enough flattery for today, Your Excellency. As it currently stands, we can no longer stop either one of these grand operations from commencing. And yet, as I've already declared, we will continue on as the Wings of Passage.
For Reen, Lloyd, Estelle, and every one of their allies. For I know in my heart of hearts that their light will shine through to the very end.
Your Highness. If we weren't sure of ourselves before, we definitely are now.
He's trying way too hard to sound cool.
Be my guest. You may flit around as much as you please. But know this. You have only 6 days before Operation Jormungand makes its move.
Huh?
As one of the authors behind this plan, allow me to issue a declaration. The order to commence Operation Jormungand will be officially given at the stroke of noon on the 1st of September.
D-Day. The start of the Great War.
Indeed. And preceding it, an omen of epic proportions to which the entire continent will bear witness. The harbinger of the end of the world. The Great Twilight.
There's something wrong with you.
The same day will also mark the beginning of the rivalry of the Seven. Jaeger King Rutger Clausel, I hope you are prepared.
Sure am.
And what of you, 7th Anguis of Ouroboros, Arian Road the Steel Maiden?
I have no objections.
I must admit, I'm deeply interested in how you all managed to escape that explosion. But I can wait until a more appropriate time to satisfy my curiosity.
Then it's true.
Yeah. Though I bet the Phantom Thief had something to do with it.
Now, if I may have your attention, everyone. I'd like to present 2 individuals who deserve some recognition for their contributions to the rivalries.
Mother!
Professor Schmidt too?
So when you said you were leaving on business...
Hello. I suspect this comes to you as somewhat of a surprise. But I simply assisted with an off-the-record request from the Erebonian government. That is all. Miss Croyce, the professor and I have completed fine-tuning the device, as you asked.
Marvelous. The both of you have my utmost appreciation.
You can save your empty gratitude for someone else. I am simply working toward my own goals, nothing more.
What exactly are you planning, Belle?
Allow me to make one final introduction to our roster. One not even we expected. And yet, one that will surely prove instrumental in setting the stage for the rivalries.
Uh-huh.
Now that you mention it, I haven't seen McFirebro around in a while.
Yo, you called? Man, I love it when there's a time limit. Really gets the blood pumping, you feel me? But I ain't the star here. Hey, come on out already.
No way.
Yeah,
Viscount
seriously?
Arcade? So this is what became of you.
I was curious how and where you'd managed to wander off after losing your left arm.
His left arm. Father!
So you've turned even the Radiant Blade Master into one of your puppets, then?
That would be wrong, for I am no puppet. I am Victor S. Arcade. I have lost neither my memories nor my sense of self. It brings me no small pain for us to meet again like this, Cassius.
Perhaps, but it's no small delight to know you're still alive as well. I can only assume this is the curse compelling you against your will.
Huh? Know something we don't, old man?
A similar case occurred in Liberl 3 years ago.
In Phantasma.
We encountered artificial copies of people who had the same memories and personalities as the originals.
You're trying to tell me it's happening all over again?
In other words, that's a fake.
No, that was in the Recluse Cube. What we have here in Erebonia is something on a far greater scale than that.
Yeah, the curse is forcing Mr. Viscount to do whatever it wants him to. He's the strongest swordmaster in the Empire. That's why he was chosen to set the stage for the rivalries.
Precisely. All to create the best possible conditions for the resurrection of the Great One.
So that's how it works.
It's almost as though the curse has a consciousness, a will of its own.
No, Father.
So his skills as one of the greatest swordsmen on the continent are being used against him.
There's no need for anguish. These are nothing more than the whims of fate. When next we meet, it will be as heralds of the rivalries. Reen, Laura, I expect you to put forth your very best when the time comes to pit steel against steel.
Catch you when the fun finally starts. We'll be waiting.
Alrighty, guess we'd best head out ourselves. Best of luck, Miss Maiden. If I see you again, it'll be between my crosshairs.
Very well. I will await that moment with bated breath. Ines, Anea, return to me. I will require you at my side once more.
Yes, my lord.
As you wish.
Ha! Busy times ahead for all of us, huh?
Our final battlefield draws near. The very thought is enough to make the blood stir.
Just what kind of farce do all of you take this for? We aren't finished here! Not by a long shot!
Nobody
Who
cares
do you
about
think
you.
you are, deserting your duty?
Sorry, kid. We got our priorities.
That's quite enough, Your Highness. The task you were given was a greeting, a show of formality and nothing further. Evidently, you have failed to understand that. I have to warn you against overstepping your bounds.
Oh shit.
Or must I remind you of your position as an Ironblood?
Your Highness.
Now, let us leave the matter at this. Return to Heimdall for now, Your Highness. There yet remains an important role you must play.
Understood.
Boss, Zeno, Leo. My lord.
Ouch! Bet Princey Boy's gonna sulk on that one for weeks.
Looks like the party's over now. What a shame. I was having so much fun.
I do hate to cut our engagement short, but I believe it's time we made our exit.
Understood.
See you around, guys! Continue on with your struggle, vain as it may be. I want to relish making you squirm before we finish you off for good.
Now, if you'll excuse us.
Hey! Wait for me! We gotta get out of here! 6th Enhanced Jaeger Brigade, fall back! Get moving!
Belle, just how far will you take this?
First Sharon, and now Mother too?
Guess we won't be settling the score this time around.
We'll go ahead and see ourselves out, too.
George!
So you're gonna leave without saying a single thing? Again?
Don't worry. We'll be able to settle things soon. But don't expect any mercy from me when that happens.
Right. Real convincing.
George, or would you prefer I call you Georg? Either way, I owe you my thanks.
You can keep them. Farewell.
Man, that guy really isn't cut out for this.
Look who's talking.
Exactly. You're no different.
Whoa! Didn't realize you guys were keeping demons up in that ship.
Oh, Lecter. I can only guess who you're referring to.
Oh shit.
Still, it really is wonderful to see you again. It's been so long since we last met at the trade conference. I won't even bother scolding you anymore, Lecter. All I ask is that you promise me one thing. That we'll still have a class reunion, no matter how this all ends. Leo wants just the same. Jill and Hans do too.
Sheesh. You guys just can't learn to let it go, can you? Fine. I'll bite. Now, making a promise cost me nothing, after all. You just gotta promise me that you survive long enough to get there.
Of course. The same goes for you. I'll be waiting, with a fist curled and ready to knock some sense back into you, so be prepared.
I'm glad everyone was able to have this chance to see each other one last time. With this period of relative peace nearing its end, may each of us give every last ounce of our strength in the coming days. And Reen, you have a decision to make. Will you give in to your cursed destiny? Rebel against your fate? Will you simply flee? Or will you continue to struggle with every fiber of your being until you have seen this abyss of despair through to the end?
Whether we'll ever meet again, I can't say for sure. But if we do, I guarantee you'll have no doubt about which path I've taken.
My goodness, His Excellency certainly is impulsive.
Farewell, everyone. May you enjoy what little time you have left before the end of days is upon us.
I pray that you all have a safe journey home. Be assured that neither the Imperial Army nor Ouroboros will interfere with your return.
On that note, you are also free to go and visit His Majesty at his bedside, should you so desire. As for you, Lloyd, I have temporarily suspended your arrest warrant. I imagine you'd like a chance to visit those dear to you. Far be it from me to hold you from your final farewells.
Wait, really?
Think of it as my personal apology to you for Operation Birdcage. We will be recalling our troops from Michelin as well. Why don't you enjoy yourselves there one last time?
I'd like to thank you for the consideration, though not half as much as I'd like to deck you in the face!
Instructor Claire.
They're always so difficult to get through to.
Well, this has been a most productive encounter. I don't know if I trust them to not interfere with our return, so we'll be taking our leave as soon as possible. I wish you all the best of luck in the coming days. May each of us do our utmost, no matter what path we've chosen.
I shall find a way to pay my respects to His Majesty before setting a course back home. With that, farewell for now.
Princess Alphen, Lady Mildine, and General Le Guin, congratulations on rallying so many to your side this day. As for Reen, Lloyd, Estelle, and all the rest, may Adios give you her blessing, wherever your endeavors might take you. And once again, Prince Olivert, I can't express enough how much of a relief it is to see you alive.
Always a pleasure brightening your day with a bit of bewilderment. And Cassius, though we walk different paths for now, perhaps we could meet for a drink one day. I imagine Zin would be eager to join.
Ha! I'll be sure to take you up on that. Estelle, Joshua, Ren, Sherazard, Agate, Tita. We shall meet again. Take care of yourselves, as well as each other. For sure. We may not be on the same team exactly, but good luck all the same, Dad.
You better not get beat by some Imperial hotshot, you got it?
You can leave any matters in Erebonia to me. I'll make sure to be close in touch with Sarah.
The Society's at work all over the continent. Be careful out there, Dad.
We'll let you know if we discover anything about their plans.
Be careful, Mr. Bright. You too, Chloe.
Oh, that was a lot.
Oh, that was way too intense.
Agreed. Not just the battles themselves, but the entire situation.
Yeah. Having the fate of the entire continent at stake can get a little overwhelming.
Huh. Don't go wussing out on us just yet. We're finally in the home stretch.
Yes, that we are.
Oh, Muse.
You changed your clothes back.
Music.
So I have.
I suppose we should count ourselves lucky things ended up as nice as they did.
I swear. Muse? You don't really think your signature sweet smile will be enough for us to forgive you, do you?
Huh?
I was about to ask just the same.
You were about to pull some real wild shit back there, weren't you?
Just so you know, we overheard your conversation on the bridge. I need to have more than just a few words with you, as your instructor.
Yes, Instructorine.
That was strangely meek of her.
What, you sick or something? More so than usual, I mean.
I'd say she realized she went a bit too far this time around.
Though perhaps we're partially to blame for all the pressure we've placed upon her.
Such is the folly of youth, wouldn't you say?
Oliver.
It pleases us all to have you grace us in good health, Your Highness.
You'll have to direct your thanks to the many others who helped this come to pass. Our endgame is nigh, Reen. Should you wish it, my wings are prepared to lift you to a new path.
It would be our honor, Your Highness. But before that, on behalf of us all, welcome back.
It's good to be back. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, Liberlians, Crossbellans, and Erebonians alike, welcome aboard the second successor of the high-speed cruiser Arcee, the Courageous 2!
Well, that was a lot.
Oh, wow! You really outdid yourselves!
Let's end this here. Need to save. Alright, Saturday, Sunday, touring West Erebonia for oh, that's cool. Yeah, show up the new toy. That's a problem for any enemy. That's going to be a problem for any enemy. That's a lot of reading material. Did those two just swap weapons? Because didn't Leonora a spear user?
Despite being a new model of ship, the system you see here largely emulates that of the previous Courageous. Our operations manual only covers the bare minimum. Should you find anything lacking, you'll have to figure it out as you go.
Understood. I'll make sure to pass it on to everyone else.
In total, it spans a length of 92 Arj, a considerable step up from the previous 74 Arj class. However, because the ship is so much bigger, you'll need to carefully watch the speed and engine output.
Ha! So she's a wild one, eh? Sounds to me like this girl's gonna need a bit more taming than the last one.
This terminal should give you complete command over all the ship's facilities and fire control systems. It comes equipped with anti-hacking measures, specially developed by Professors Albert and Erica Russell themselves.
You mean Mom and Grandpa made it? We should have no problems then.
Incredible. This ship is state-of-the-art.
And that computer's one of the Epstein Foundation's next-generation models. Weren't they only just developed?
That's right. And its hull has the latest innovations in hydrodynamic engineering, courtesy of the Ruhr Institute of Technology. Plus, it seems to be outfitted with ZCF's newest next-gen orbital engine, too.
It only gets more and more unbelievable every time I hear it. Just how did you manage to construct a cutting-edge ship like this abroad in total secrecy, without anyone finding out?
As I stated earlier, there are a great deal of individuals who helped me make this happen. Such as Mr. Gwyn here, for instance.
Former Reinford Group Chairman, Gwyn Reinford.
Mm-hmm. The story here goes all the way back to right after the Civil War. Considering the way it ended, His Highness decided to approach me for some advice. He had me prepare this ship for him, all in anticipation of the day when the Crimson Wings would be torn from the sky.
So that's why.
Huh. I do remember His Highness mentioning something about you being his advisor.
Still, for the construction site to be located on the Kingdom of the Bulls Valerian Lakeshore, on the top of an old Ouroboros secret base to boot. Talk about a plot twist. They are referring to the research facility that the Faceless constructed during the incident in LeBeau. I heard that after the dust settled, it was handed over to ZCF to manage. It does seem like Grandpa and the others used it for some kind of research. So not just Gwyn and Professor Smith pitched in, but Professor Rossella and Her Majesty Alicia too. Whereas Cassius and the Crown Princess were none the wiser. If you want to fool your enemies, you gotta fool your friends first, huh? Classic. As for funding, in addition to His Highness Oliver, Gwyn and His Majesty Uchant also contributed from their personal holdings. Or perhaps the most unexpected benefactors were Father and Marquis Rodner. Indeed, quite a cunning play by those two. I imagine that keeping this from the Alberias was all in the name of avoiding the eye of the intelligence division. Yes, the same with Cayennes, I'm sure. And so, your new set of wings were completed, independently of both the government and the Wystand Army. When I said we were preparing for our original wings to be torn away, I only expected they'd be commandeered by the government. To be perfectly frank, the thought that they would be physically torn apart never even crossed my mind. This isn't a laughing matter for the record. Indeed, just being alive is reason enough to give thanks to Adius. Even at the cost of a left eye. Your Highness? I hate to ask, but what's the prognosis? A full recovery doesn't seem to be in the cards, unfortunately. But as a musician, I'm just grateful that my hands and ears made it through in one piece. I suppose I have them to thank for that. So you owe life to George's inner turmoil and the whims of that phantom thief, huh? You have an unbreakable spirit, Your Highness. Don't sell yourself short.
This is...
I underestimated them. Shara, I'm sorry.
Sorry, looks like I messed up.
Goddess, please protect my daughter.
You have 15 seconds until the hull collapses. So before then, I will offer you one final wager. A gravitational barrier will appear on the bridge for exactly 24 seconds. Let's see if you can come back from this.
Adios, help us! You gotta stay calm. Get down and brace for impact. Over there! Damn! The gravitational barrier. It's not gonna hold.
Don't give up just yet!
Was I a moment too late? Nay, surely a flicker of hope yet remains. Can you still be plucked from the jaws of Gehenna? Show me just how far that luck of yours will take you, my dearest rival.
I expected him to more teleport onto the ship, but yeah. I still can't believe that our friend, the Phantom Thief, saved you all from the wreckage. Guess his parlor tricks are good for something, if that's what he used to spirit everyone away in one piece. No wonder they couldn't find so much as a single body. On top of that, he healed His Highness, the crew, and even the Viscount's grave wounds, didn't he? That's right, I was injured too, but somehow I made it out relatively unscathed. Even the Viscount jumped in to block the hole in the barrier. I couldn't even use my arts to help him. I'd never felt so worthless in my entire life. I'm sorry, Laura. I dropped the ball when it mattered most. Like I've told you, Tobal, you have nothing to apologize for. I'm just relieved you made it out alive. I'm sure Father shares my sentiment. Well, if you say so. I admit, I thought Viscount Arcade more or less invincible. I was stunned speechless to see him in that state. But for him, losing his left arm means he'll just swing twice as hard with the right. Power is but an extension of oneself. And what is a sword if not power wrought in steel? But ultimately, it is not the might of one's blade, but will and strength of spirit that decide the battle. The words of his lordship, from the Infernal Castle 2 years ago. So ridiculously cool. Okay, Edgelord. Given who we're talking about, I expect he will only emerge stronger from the experience. If that's the case, this could well become the most difficult trial we faced yet, because you got to fight him. I'm inclined to agree. It'd be prudent for us to account for every contingency. There's also the promise we made with Lloyd, Estelle, and the others. True that. We can't let them best us. But what exactly is Rose up to? Sorry about my grandmother. She has a way of being evasive. I definitely was a little surprised by how sudden all that all was. If it involves the rivalries though, the only thing to do is go and check it out, right? The previous evening. after Rainier had boarded the Courageous 2 and had been shown around. They began discussing the next steps they should take, considering that the war would begin in less than a week. In the middle of their conversation, however, they received a call from a rather unexpected party.
For those of you who have not yet had the honor, my name is Roselia Milstein. I am the elder of Erebonia's Hexen clan. Emma and Vida are my disciples in the magical arts. It is a pleasure to finally meet you, Prince Olivert, as well as the storied children of Crossbell and Laburl.
How do you do? Until this moment, I'd only heard of you through rumor and legend. I've heard that you watched over the laying of Erebonia's foundation by Anna I. Is that really true? Well, actually, that was my predecessor. It was Emperor Hector and Prince Dracos, who I was best acquainted with 800 years ago. I cannot say the family resemblance is all that strong in you, but you definitely have a familiar fire in your heart. It's quite an honor to hear you say so. I've heard about Roselia from Ren. 800 years old. Even seeing it with my own eyes, I can't quite believe it. I've heard a few things about those of you back there as well. Glowing tales from Ragnar and Zeit, both. Wait, what? Ragnar? For real? We haven't seen Zeit since... We spoke shortly before they vanished. Even I have no idea of the whereabouts now, however. That's a shame. From the sound of it, Cassius doesn't know either. Ragnar the Ancient Dragon and Zeit the Divine Wolf. Two of the beasts entrusted with overseeing the Septarians.
Indeed. Beings sent forth by Adios, much like the holy beast of Earth. Thomas Lysander, second Dominion of the Gralsritter. Estelle, Lloyd, I've heard many a rumor about your respective endeavors. As for you, Your Highness, I don't think we've had the chance to talk since you were last at the main campus.
And to think that you, a history teacher, are a Dominion of the Gralsritter. I must say, I was quite frustrated that I was unable to see what was really going on despite my ties to Kevin. I see. So I guess that means you heard about us from Kevin and Reese, sorry. And it sounds like you learned about us from Wazi. Right. We're having all of them operate outside of Ereburnia at the present. They're out there resisting Ouroboros and their allies working toward the Great Twilight in secret. The 1st, 4th, 5th and 6th Angus. It seems the enforcers who haven't come to Ereburnia are also all out on our operations. Looks like the intelligence division's been active in the other countries too. They're making some pretty serious moves. The Red Consolation's main regiment and the War Guard too. So Uncle Sigmund is finally on the move. Yes, Arius and Rishia are responding to their actions. It's the same with Noel, Chisege and Dudley, isn't it? I hope they're all okay. To be honest, things are looking fairly grim. So much so that the Papal Guard has begun to act on its own, and is cooperating with Operation Mirage. I suspected as much. Now is surely not the time for them to be going off on their own like this. Even during the Night Touch affair 200 years ago, the Papal Guard managed to make a nuisance of themselves. For the time being though, let us focus on the main issue at hand, the rivalry of the Seven. I have been closely monitoring the disturbance of the Spirit Veins, and there has been a surprising development. As soon as the commencement date for Operation Yomanga no Mirage was announced, activity in the Spirit Veins reached a fevered peak. Although the reason why is still unclear, it seems the announcement itself is connected to the spread of the disturbance. What? What? You mean the Spirit Veins reacted to today's events? The boss moving out might be related to. Yes, as well as my father, the Steel Maiden and the others. This probably involves Mother and Sharon too. And Maribel. She seems to be working with RF somehow. There are likely many causes, but we now have a different grave situation. Meanwhile, the spirit veins across the entire continent have begun activity. It's no longer limited to the Empire. Wait, what the hell? The disturbance was initially a gradual ripple outward from the Empire, but it seems to be matching the coming war in its scope. Alright, that's the great talent at work. They need it in full swing before the rivalry is to even be possible. I imagine even now they're preparing for the ultimate reformation of the Great One. If only there was something we could do.
The solution is simple. Use this ship to whatever end you see fit. The rivalry of the Seven appears to be the true objective behind this plan of the Chancellor and the Gnomes. That much we can safely assume. And yet, it is this very same objective that may be our sole hope in preventing the disaster to come.
You for real here? It's true that ever since this curse was unleashed, it's felt as though everything's being guided by some unseen force. With that in mind, it'd be near impossible to try and prevent the war altogether.
That's probably why Dad and Chloe opted for Operation Meal Mirage instead. But while we're on it, what exactly is this curse anyway?
We know full well the sort of strife a Septarian can cause. We saw so ourselves during the incident in Liberl a few years back. There, we had to come face to face with the same issues our ancestors contended with 1,200 years ago.
It was the same for us. We fought back against a centuries-long plan to artificially recreate a Septarian. One that had been lost due to mankind's own hubris.
Yeah, I almost made a really big mistake back then. But then Lloyd and the others came and made everything all right again.
In Liberl, a ring that could grant any heart's desire, and in Crossbell, a tree that could rewrite destiny itself. Each one a blessing, yet each one a curse. But in spite of that, Estelle, Lloyd, and everyone else faced them head-on. They didn't lose heart even once.
Therefore, discovering the truth is your responsibility now. It's not something Estelle, or Lloyd, or even the rest of us can accomplish. Only you, Class 7 of Thor's Military Academy.
The Empire's facing threats both on its surface and behind the scenes. You're no strangers to kicking tail on either of those fronts. I can't think of a more tenacious bunch out there. The way I see it, you guys are the only ones who can do this.
It's up to us then. Naturally, the Courageous Two has its own missions to see to. We must travel around the country helping people and gathering allies. Even so, I have no doubt that we can still serve as your wings of passage. More so with the Merkaba out of commission. After all, the difference in size should be more than enough to fit, say, 2 Divine Knights and 4 Panzer Soldats?
Olivert.
You've put so much thought into this. We appreciate it.
Then Thor's Military Academy's Class 7 would be honored to take you up on that offer, Your Highness. We'll do everything we can to assist you in your efforts as fellow members of the Radiant Wings.
We'll help too. It's only fair after all you've done for the branch campus students.
If you ever need someone to make that ship purr, I'm your gal.
Fabulous! Delighted to have you. You see, we've been rather lacking in the crew department.
Well, I sure as hell ain't sitting this one out. What kind of instructor would I be otherwise?
Count me in too. I mean, we're finally all back together again.
Like we said, we're gonna be off doing our own thing, but we'll still be helping out.
Same with us. We'll be catching a ride on the Bobcat too after we're done here.
Now that you mention it, you did both say you'd be working separately.
Yeah, the plan is to cover eastern Erebonia, Northumbria, and Jirai.
You mentioned getting in touch with HQ in Lamont. Guess that means you guys are heading out too, huh, Shara?
We are, though we won't be leaving the ship until tomorrow.
Sarah, Fee, you guys got things covered here, yeah?
Of course. When have we ever let you down?
Call us if you need anything, okay?
I guess this is goodbye for now then, huh?
Yeah. We've got some stuff to take care of back in Crossbell.
Don't worry. We'll be seeing each other again before you know it. In the meantime, let's give this our all.
Yeah! We got this, Yuna!
Right!
It seems like we'll be able to divide things up by region then. You should be able to just leave everything with the Merkabite Unit 8 up to Rosine Gaius. I'll be arranging for its repairs at a nearby location. I really am in your debt, Thomas. You too, Rosine. Thank you. No worries. Please look after everyone. It will not be easy, but our shred of hope is now coming to view. The time has come for me to undergo my final undertaking. Grandmother? What do you mean final undertaking? Listen when children of class 7. As noted, the spirit winds throughout the land are activating and they are disordered as they've never been before. The same can be said for the shrines, the stages for the rivalries. This includes the Lunar Shrine, the only shrine we witches have overseen since ancient times. The Lunar Shrine? Isn't that close to Millicent? Yes, it is the location of the reflecting pool, and generation after generation of wandering witches have watched over it. This pool reflects the genuine truth, and is believed to be connected to the origin of the Black Records. I didn't expect to hear those mentioned here. Yes, I myself was just told about it the other day. I suggest anyone interested in the real truth behind the curse to come. I swear on my true name, I shall provide the answers to your doubts, rest assured. To do so, however, I will require Class 7 to undergo a trial of sorts. You will need to come along as well, Celine. Oh, and fair warning, your Humian form will be required for this. Grandmother? She's going to have to be in human form. We thought the Lunar Shrine was a dead end, but there was more to it after all. This will be a trial for the entirety of the Class 7. I am reminded of our adventures in the old schoolhouse 2 years ago. Ah, you mean where everyone first met? Yeah, and then that crazy go-nuts corridor appeared at the end. Every corridor. Knowing what we know now, I think that place is yet another sort of shrine. I don't know what my grandmother's intentions are, but we should prepare ourselves for anything. For crying out loud, why am I'm not even a part of Class 7. You just admitted already, City. You're one of us, whether you like it or not. This will be the first time we've seen your human form since the Black Workshop, huh? To gaze upon both Celine's lovely figure and the reflecting pool in the same day. What a fortuitous timing. Once everyone's done their little tour around the Courageous 2, we can head for Lake Gala. It would probably be wise to land out on the water, to put a little distance between ourselves and Miss Sant. Learning to switch between the silent navigation and optical camouflage modes is going to be critical here. Understood. Things are starting to heat up. Next, our plan is to head ashore, with each group making their approach from the target locations. Fortunately, Estelle, Lloyd, and the others are already a step ahead of us gathering intel. I'm sure they'll have hit on something useful by the time you get out. We'll be expecting good news, guys. But seriously though, take care of yourselves out there. Right, that goes for you too. It means so much to know you've got our backs. Class 7, it's time to make sure your preparations are set. We'll need every pair of hands we can get around the ship. So those of you in a position to pitch in, please do. Absolutely, Instructor. Makes sense, even with everyone from the branch campus here, this is a pretty huge ship. Right, it's probably best to make one more round, just to be sure. Whew. Well, these events. Act 3, Seekers of the Dawn. The Courageous 2 is a newly constructed ship, but something about it feels nostalgic. Maybe I'll do one final sweep around the floor myself prior to departure. Alright, I need to find everyone going ashore and wish them good luck again. Each floor has an elevator that you can use to move to the other floors. You can select the floors that you have previously visited via the quick travel menu. Yeah, there's nothing I don't really need to know here for now. Also accessible from the Archives 2 menu, really. Books, character notes. Nice. Well, that's it for this one.